You're not welcome this Easter, my mom said quietly. Okay, I replied, pulling out my phone, but don't expect me to keep paying the $9,800 anymore. I canceled their electricity, water, and internet on the spot. When I got to the door, my mom opened it just a bit. No hug, no happy Easter, just 3 cold words. Don't come in. I stood there holding a bottle of wine and a basket of chocolate eggs I made myself. I even wore the blue shirt she used to say made my eyes look nice, but now, she wouldn't even look at me. What? I asked. You're joking, right? She looked behind her and stepped outside, almost closing the door like I was a stranger. It's better if you don't come in today, she whispered. Sophia said she wouldn't come if you were here. Of course, Sophia, always her. I could hear people laughing inside, clinking glasses. Then I heard my uncle say, "Cheers to real family being together." Sophia added, loud and fake sweet, "This year just feels so peaceful, no drama." I didn't yell, I smiled, that quiet smile that means trouble's coming. You know what? I said, pulling up an app on my phone. Enjoy your Easter, but the $9,800 stops now. Mom looked confused. What money? The bills, I said, the electricity, water, internet, everything I've been paying for months. They're in my name, and I just turned them off. Her face went pale. No, you didn't. I tilted the phone. See this app? One tap. I pressed the button. Inside, I heard Sophia yell, "The Wi-Fi just went out. What happened?" Mom tried to grab my phone, but I stepped back. Happy Easter, I said, and walked to my car. No one followed. No one said sorry. As I got in, Sophia appeared at the door, angry and holding her phone. Are you crazy? We were about to eat. I rolled down the window. Call your real family, maybe they'll pay the bills next month. And then I drove off, no guilt, no regrets. That was the moment I stopped being the person they could use, the moment I disappeared from their lives, at least as their unpaid utility provider. I used to think I was helping, that I was the responsible one, that family meant sacrifice. Like when my dad called during a meeting, the power's getting cut off, he said, "Again?" I whispered, stepping into the hall, "If you can pay it, I'll pay you back by Friday." He never did, but I paid anyway, I always did. My family has a long history of taking. And me? I have a long history of letting them. When Dad lost his job, I paid the house bills. When Mom needed dental work she felt insecure about, I paid. When Sophia couldn't keep her car lease, I co-signed and paid 6 months. At first, it felt good to be dependable, but over time, they stopped being grateful, they started acting like I owed them. Sophia would say, "Must be nice to have no kids, all your money's just for you." "You mean the money I used to pay your bills?" I said once. "Oh, please," she snapped, "you just like feeling better than us." Mom defended her, she didn't mean it. "No, I meant it," Sophia said. "You think paying a few bills makes you a hero." A few bills? Water, $83. Electricity, $210. Internet, $89. Other random things? I stopped keeping track. Last year alone, I paid $9,800. And yet they still saw me as that selfish one. The worst part? I wasn't even surprised anymore. One day, I stopped by with groceries and heard them laughing in the kitchen. "He's so uptight," Sophia said, "thinks paying bills makes him king of the world." "He's probably just lonely," Dad added, "all that money and no one to spend it on." "At least he's good for something," Sophia laughed. "I'd cry if I had to pay for internet." They all laughed. I stood frozen on the porch, then quietly left. That night, I canceled their Netflix and Disney Plus. Sophia texted, "Did the Wi-Fi glitch or did you forget again?" I didn't answer. But the final straw came 2 months ago. I noticed Apple Pay charges I didn't recognize. A MacBook, a retreat, designer stuff. I called my mom. "Did you buy a MacBook?" That was for Sophia. She needed it for work, and she was going through a hard time. "With my money." "You make more than all of us," she said. "You can afford it." I hung up. I thought about confronting them, but then I remembered Thanksgiving. "We all have our roles," Sophia said. "I'm fabulous, you pay for the turkey." Everyone laughed. I smiled and said nothing. But now? I can't even look at a turkey without feeling sick. I planned Easter, took off work, bought gifts. A week before, Mom texted, "Can you make sure utilities are paid? Sophia's hosting an egg hunt." I didn't reply, but I paid $3.85. And then Easter came. I showed up with gifts and love. They shut the door in my face. "Honestly," Sophia said, "it feels better without all the negativity." They wanted peace? They got it. I turned off everything, no electricity, no water, no internet. I sat in my car and watched the house slowly go dark. The porch light flickered, and the sprinklers stopped. Sophia stormed out of the house, waving her phone in the air. "What did you do?" she yelled. I rolled down my window. "Enjoy Easter," I said, "the way you wanted, without me." And I drove away, finally understanding that sometimes, the only way to heal is to cut ties. I didn't even get home before the calls started, first Mom, then Dad, then Sophia, over and over. My phone buzzed so much, it almost slipped off the seat. I ignored all of them until a message from Dad came in that made me laugh. "You're being dramatic. Come back and fix this." "Fix this? You mean your water? Your internet? Your idea of a family?" "No thanks." They showed up at my place 2 hours later. I heard the knock, but didn't move. Let them stew. Let them feel something for once. Then I heard shouting. "You're really going to ignore your own mother on Easter? Open the door or we're calling the police," Sophia yelled. "This is abuse," she screamed even louder. I opened the door just as Sophia raised her hand to knock again. She almost stumbled inside. "Get in," I said coldly, "but if anyone raises their voice, I'm calling the cops." They came in like a storm, Mom crying, Dad pacing, Sophia yelling. "You think this is funny? We had guests, children. Do you know what it's like to explain to a 5-year-old why the bathroom doesn't work?" "Yeah," I said, sitting down. "You explained that their aunt and uncle expect me to pay for everything." Silence. Mom gasped. Sophia's eyes went wide. Dad clenched his fists. "How dare you talk to your family like that?" Mom snapped. "Family?" I raised an eyebrow. "The same family who told me not to come because I ruined the vibe? The same one that laughed behind my back about how useful I am? The same one that used my money like it was never ending?" Dad stepped forward. "You're overreacting." "No," I said. "I'm done reacting. I'm acting, finally." Sophia crossed her arms. "You think cutting off the utilities just to prove a point makes you powerful?" "No," I said. "This makes me free." She snorted. "You're being ridiculous. Honestly, you've always acted like a martyr. You want praise for paying bills?" "You mean the $9,800 I spent last year?" I snapped. "The money that paid for your heating, your therapy, your new iPhone, your Paris business trip that was really a spa week in Palm Springs?" Her face went pale. "You went through my stuff? You used my credit card for the plane ticket." "I get the statements, genius." Dad tried to change the subject. "Okay, look, we've clearly made some mistakes, some." I cut him off. "Dad, you told me I had no place at the table. You said Sophia deserved the help more because she has a future. You said that to my face." He went quiet. I was angry. "No," I said. "You were honest, for once." Mom reached out. "Sweetheart, please, we're family. Can we just fix this?" "No," I said coldly, "because you didn't just shut me out this Easter. You've been shutting me out for years. You've taken what you needed from me, but the second I say no, I'm the villain." Sophia was shaking now. She'd gone from angry to quietly furious. "You'll regret this," she said through clenched teeth. "You think cutting us off will make you feel better? You'll be alone." "Good," I said. "Alone is better than being drained by people who smile when I walk in and talk behind my back when I leave." Silence. A heavy, tense silence that filled the room. Then I stood up. "Here's what's going to happen," I said calmly. "You'll find another way to pay the bills. You'll transfer the car lease off my name within 30 days. You'll stop using my Netflix, my Spotify, and my Amazon Prime. If you don't, I'll lock it all down." "You wouldn't," Dad started. "Try me," I said. "And Mom, if you ever try to guilt trip me again with 'you're our son,' just remember, sons deserve love, not bills." Mom started crying. Dad looked down. Sophia stormed out, slamming the door so hard a picture fell, but I didn't care. I didn't follow. I didn't try to fix anything. For the first time in my life, I didn't try to make it better. I closed the door, locked it behind them, and breathed out. The battle was over, and I had won. The silence after was strange. No calls, no texts, no knocks on the door. It was like they decided I didn't exist. And you know what? It felt amazing. For the first time in years, I woke up without that pressure in my chest, the one that asked, "What will they need from me today?" No more checking my bank account to cover their latest emergency. No more fake group chats with memes while my messages were ignored. No more guilt-filled holidays where I bought everyone presents and got nothing in return. I was free. And the silence was beautiful. I started sleeping better, eating better, living better. I bought a cheap guitar and started learning chords. I reconnected with old friends. I signed up for a photography class, something I always wanted to do, but never had the time or energy for. Every cent I earned went toward me, my rent, my food, my future. It felt selfish, then it felt fair, then it felt right. A week later, Sophia posted a long Instagram story, black background, white text. The usual passive-aggressive rant: some people will leave you when you need them most, but God sees everything, and karma is real. I didn't respond, but I did screenshot it, for the laughs. A few days after that, Dad called. I stared at the screen. 5 rings. Voicemail. Hey, your mom's upset. Sophia's talking about selling her car. I don't know why you're doing this, but it's gone too far. We're family. Call us. I didn't call. Instead, I emailed Sophia the car lease transfer forms. Subject line: you're welcome. Deadline: 14 days. Then came the real surprise. Kelly, my cousin's wife, messaged me out of nowhere. She was at the Easter gathering when everything went down, standing quietly as Sophia yelled and Mom acted shocked. She messaged me late one night. I know this might be strange, but I just wanted to say thank you. I've never seen anyone stand up to this family like that. It made me realize a lot about how they treat people. You didn't deserve that. I hope you're doing okay. I stared at the message for a while. Someone saw it. Someone finally saw me. I wrote back, I'm better than okay, for the first time in a long time. But peace didn't last. 2 weeks later, I came home to find a letter taped to my door. No return address. Inside was a note from my mom. First line: we raised you better than this. Last line: you'll always be our son, even if you've forgotten what that means. I folded it, threw it away, and went out for tacos. Because here's what they'll never understand. I didn't forget what family means. They never knew. They thought love was control, that money meant obedience, that silence meant agreement, that sacrificing myself meant loyalty. But me? I finally knew better. Now, I walk into my apartment and it's quiet, not because I'm unwanted, but because I want the silence. I light a candle, play some music, sit by the window, and just breathe. For once, no one is waiting for me to fail, asking for money, or making me feel like I don't belong. I don't feel like an afterthought in someone else's life. I feel like the main character in my own. You know what's strange? The world didn't end the day I told my family I was done. No thunder, no lightning, no regrets, just silence, and freedom. For someone like me, someone who spent his whole life trying to be the perfect son, that silence was everything. It wasn't empty, it was peaceful, it wasn't lonely, it was quiet, a kind of quiet that finally let me hear myself again, because for years, I couldn't hear my own voice. I'd wake up every day thinking about who I needed to save. Mom needed money for a temporary bill. Sophia needed help because she couldn't miss a concert. Dad's credit card payment was overdue, and it would ruin his score if I didn't step in. Every time I said yes, I felt smaller. They didn't ask, they expected, they didn't care, they joked, they didn't see me, they used me, and I let them. I thought that was what love was: suffocating. I thought being needed meant being loved, but it's not the same. Being used is not love. It took one slammed door and a power cut to make me see that. After Easter, the messages stopped. No more threats, no more guilt, no more begging. It felt like I disappeared, and they were too polite to mention it. That ghost phase? It gave me the clearest view of my life I'd ever had. I started asking myself questions no one had ever let me ask. What do I want? Who am I outside of them? What happens if I stop being their lifeline? And you know what I found? Breath. Space. Joy. I learned to cook real meals, not just cereal. I joined a local music group. I started writing short stories, poetry, even this. It turns out, there's a whole person under the guilt. Then, weeks after everything happened, I ran into Rachel at a bookstore, someone I knew from college. She looked happier, lighter. We had coffee and talked, and at one point, she asked, "Are you still close with your family?" I paused, then said it, really said it, for the first time. No, I cut them off. She smiled. Good. I laughed. I wasn't expecting that. She shrugged. Most people don't know what it's like to be the family doormat. We talked for hours, about boundaries, healing, and choosing yourself without guilt. That night, walking home, I realized I wasn't broken anymore. I was rebuilding. Without them. And that was okay. Weeks turned into months. I started noticing small things. I didn't jump when my phone rang. I didn't dread checking my bank account. I didn't check Sophia's social media, waiting for her next attack. One day, I found myself laughing, really laughing, at a meme someone sent me. It hit me. I'm happy. Not because something amazing happened, but because nothing was draining me anymore. For the first time in forever, I wasn't carrying someone else. I was just me. Then, the surprise came. I got a voicemail from Mom. Her voice was soft, almost fragile. "Hi sweetheart, I hope you're okay. Sophia's been having a hard time. The house feels different without you. I know you're angry. I know we messed up. But you're still our son. We love you. I miss you. I listened to the message twice. For the first time, I didn't cry. I didn't feel pulled back in. I just felt done. And that feeling? It wasn't cold, it was warm. Warm like standing in the sun after years in the shade. Here's what I know now. Saying no doesn't make you cruel. Setting boundaries doesn't make you heartless. Walking away from toxic people, even if they're family, isn't betrayal. It's survival. Maybe they now curse my name at the dinner table. Maybe they'll twist the story and make me the villain. Let them. They're not in my life anymore. And my life is finally mine. So if you're reading this, and you're tired of being the one who always gives, always forgives, always sacrifices while they laugh behind your back, let me be the proof. You're allowed to stop. You're allowed to walk away. You're allowed to choose yourself. And if they ever tell you that you're not welcome, you say, good, I didn't come here to be welcome, I came to stop bleeding. Then you stand tall, walk out the door, and never look back. Because peace isn't a place they give you. It's the place you reclaim when you finally say, enough.